2025 has been a pretty bad year for Disney at movie theaters, with many of their major releases in total losing hundreds of millions of dollars for the company. The one notable exception is probably the live action Lilo and Stitch that seemed to resonate with audience, as you can see on Rotten Tomatoes right now. It's currently sitting at a 92% audience score, and in total it brought in over $1 billion globally. So it just goes to show that there are people out there willing to pay money and support Disney movies at the theaters instead of just waiting a month or so until it comes out on Disney Plus. But that doesn't necessarily mean that every one of their live action remakes is going to be successful, because we saw Snow White came out earlier this year and that was a huge box office failure. And right now it's looking like their next big live action remake is likewise also going to be a box office failure, at least according to the early response to the first teaser trailer for the upcoming live action Moana that's set to come out next year. But before we really look at this, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you can, leave a comment, tell me what you think about this, and also hit the like button too, because it helps out with the channel. So like I said, I have the first teaser trailer for the upcoming live action Moana pulled up on the official Disney YouTube channel. And right now it's currently sitting at 37,000 likes to 85,000 dislikes. So a pretty bad ratio if you ask me. Now, this isn't necessarily unique to Moana, like I mentioned with Snow White, how that actually was pretty heavily ratioed. But Lilo and Stitch, when that was one of their movies that came out this year that was successful, and we saw that the reception to that one was very positive. It has 259,000 likes to 36,000 dislikes. So Lilo and Stitch, it's kind of unique in that it was a live action remake of a beloved animated film. And that's one that people really were interested in watching. And you saw the results at the box office. But when it comes to Moana, it looks like we might have another Snow White on our hands. And that's not to say that the actress has behaved like Rachel Zegler, but this just comes across as a movie that people aren't interested in, or at least they saw what they're presenting within this first teaser trailer. And a lot of people just aren't really satisfied with it. You can look at the comments and kind of get a better idea of what people are saying about it. So I got to give credit to Disney for leaving the comments open on this one. Just wait till we get the live action Zootopia with real animated animals. Reminds me of the live action Lion King, which was basically just a fancier animated film. I feel like creativity is illegal nowadays. So that's kind of hinting that people are tired of all these live action remakes and other stuff like that. And yeah, I think there's some truth to that. But at the same time, like I mentioned with Lilo and Stitch, that movie was still wildly successful. So to Disney, that basically just signals that people will watch their live action remakes. And I talked about this at the time when it came to Lilo and Stitch, that Snow White was a huge box office failure. Lilo and Stitch was a box office success. Now, if you examine both those movies, Snow White was one of those that deviated from the original one and tried to make their own thing. People didn't like that. Versus Lilo and Stitch, even though there was some deviation, the marketing for it, and for the most part, the movie itself stuck pretty close to the source material. So that one was rewarded with a lot of people paying money to go see it in theaters, which just goes to show, even though a lot of people are kind of conditioned not to support Disney movies in theaters because they're so quick to release it on Disney Plus, a lot of parents are thinking like, well, me and my kids going to the movies, it'll probably cost us $100 once you factor in concessions and all that other stuff. I don't want to pay that much, especially when I can just wait a month and go watch it on Disney Plus at home. So that's what a lot of people are doing. But some movies, people will still go and pay money to see it in theaters if it feels like it's one of those movies that genuinely earns that business. A lot of the ones that Disney been releasing this year haven't really been up to the task on that one, but Lilo and Stitch, people are willing to support that. But the question is whether or not Moana is going to be that next big one, because right now the early response doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So nobody asked for the Disney, for this Disney unrelease this at once, unrelease it. When I saw this reposted by somebody online, I thought it was AI generated. Turns out I was wrong. The animated OG Moana film isn't nearly old enough for, because when did the first one come out? Like 10 years ago or something. I think it came out in like 2015, 2016. This is pretty sudden to do a live action one. In fact, last year, that's when they had the sequel for it. And that was another one that surprisingly enough was very successful. Look at the numbers for that one. Moana 2, came out last year. Brought in over $1 billion. So on paper, this one looks like it should probably be very successful because Moana was a highly regarded one that people loved. Moana 2 came out last year. People really like that one. Then you just had the live action Lilo and Stitch that was sticking close to the source material, and people really like that one. But this new Moana, it just seems somewhat different, where it's like people aren't willing to support this particular one. And it seems kind of strange if you ask me, because looking at the trailer, it comes across as this is just like the original Moana. The biggest thing that I think a lot of people are upset about is just the way it looks. Like this one comment talking about how it looks AI generated. And that's because it doesn't seem to be taking advantage of what it actually means to be a live action version. Just look at the very end of the trailer here. Okay, so it has the date when it's coming out. Then Chicken Hey Hey just looks like the one from the animated film, but it raises questions like, why are you going to be doing a live action version if everything is going to look animated anyway? I'm like, yes, the actors are real people, but everything else in this trailer just feels fake. Like it just feels like it's all animated in CG. Like I don't see why you would make the chicken looking this way, or the other animals and other stuff within this movie look like it's just a more detailed animated version of it. And I think that's the thing about this that's really off-putting to a lot of people, because at that point it's like, well, if you're just going to make it look exactly like the animated film, I mean, even you have The Rock coming back as Maui, basically playing the exact same character. So even in some cases you have the same actors playing the same roles, and the animation in this looks the same except just a little bit better. Then what's the point of actually watching this movie? Why not just watch the original one? Because this one doesn't seem to be offering anything different. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of upset about when it comes to this teaser. So I don't see a single good comment about this movie. Perhaps that's a sign. If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out. I've heard that comment before. Come on, get something original. GPT, make me a live action trailer for Moana. Moana now with 12% more real people. Yeah, so you get the idea. A lot of people are not really happy with this first look at it. Now, could things turn around when we get some more on this? Perhaps, but right now it does feel like a lot of people are tied with these live action remakes, and it's possible that this could actually go on to be very successful because, like I said, on paper, this movie should be highly successful because at least it seems like it's following the animated film pretty closely. And for Disney with their live action remakes, the closer they follow the source material, the better off they seem to be. And this one, it seems to be doing that sort of thing. And it's following the success of Moana 2, following the success of Lilo and Stitch. But I don't know, maybe this could just be an anomaly where it's like everything should be in its favor, but because of various other factors outside of Disney's control, or the fact that they're leaning too much into the cartoony aspect of the animated film and trying to translate that into live action, it's just not going to work out. And that's ultimately going to lead people to just be like, you know what, maybe the movie's fine. I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money to go watch it in theaters. I'm just going to wait until it comes out on Disney Plus. So Disney releasing their movies so close on their own streaming service has definitely hurt them on this one, or hurt them in the past. So we'll just have to wait and see whether or not it'll hurt them with this movie. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think this movie is going to be good, or do you think it's going to be another box office failure for Disney and a long string of box office failures for them? And if that's the case, what do you think they could do, if anything, to actually make it better? And if this is another failure, do you think it will have any impact on their future live action plans, like the live action remake of Tangled? Or do you think this is just going to be a one-off thing and Disney's going to continue to Disney? Comment below, because I'm curious what other people have to say about this. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to hit the like button and share the video out there because it helps out with the channel. Thank you.